topically to the skin, and orally for the digestive system. Be sure to watch our new 7-minute video tour of the Silver Lung system at www.silverlungs.com to learn more about how the Silver Lung system works. As well, we are always ready to answer any questions you may have. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Alex Abella is our guest in this short segment. He's going to get into some more of his discoveries in more modern times of Rand Corporation getting us into Iraq and other wars. Then starting in the next segment, for several more segments, we'll talk to Matt, William, John, Ryan, Steve, and others. But no group in the globalist social engineering hierarchy, the master architects of the New World Order, do you find an organization more powerful, more influential than Rand? Rand was basically given the quarterbacking job by the Ford Foundation and Carnegie Endowment to set up this corporate world government that collectivizes us through a fake free market controlled within a false paradigm of consumerism. But it's a spectrum they control, where they destroy our values, our true rights, our true wealth, and give us baubles instead. Alex Abella, you wanted to get into Iraq and some of the more modern chapters with the Rand Corporation.
Right, because, I mean, that is such a prime example of what they are doing. I mean, you know, for crying out loud, you know, we're still in Iraq, right? We still have, I think, 50,000 over there. And, you know, we're still in Afghanistan. A lot of people are asking themselves, well, what the hell are we doing there? And then, of course, it all goes back to 9/11, then goes back as well to Desert Storm. And, you know, it's Rand. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. It's people who came out of Rand. I specifically want to point out one gentleman who perhaps your listeners will be aware of. His name is Andrew Marshall, who is the head of the Office of Net Assessment. He's been in the Pentagon since 1973, and every president, including President Obama right now, has reconfirmed him in his post. And what is his post? To dream up new weapons. He's the kind of guy who came up with the whole concept of, you know, the Star Wars approach to missiles. You know, we went into Iraq, and we bombed the capital in Baghdad, and the whole concept, you know, of exoskeletons for people, for soldiers, of
drugging troops. He's the one that ordered West Point to make everybody read Starship Troopers, the book.
Absolutely. Yes, he's the one who's like leading us. He's like the leading light. The man is in his late 80s. He's almost 90 right now, and he's still there. He looks like something out of science fiction, only it's science fact. And he's still there, and he was one of the founders of Rand, who came up with, you know, with the whole concept of the military-industrial complex, who developed it right from the 1940s and the 1950s. He was there. He was one of the advisors to the Gator Report, for crying out loud.
And he wants to inject all the troops with mind control drugs. That's even in Wired magazine. He says it won't be what weapons they have, but what drugs they're on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the whole rationale for going into Iraq, for going into Desert Storm back in the 80s, which you have to remember, this all dates back to the 1980s, is again, you know, you can trace it directly to Rand studies that came out in the early 70s, saying after the problem with the 1973 with the embargo, the oil embargo, says the United States has to take control of the Middle East. I mean, in so many words, if they want to, whether it's directly or indirectly with the United States forces there, or indirectly through friendly regimes that will do as the United States bids. And it's been a constant in their thinking. And they're still at it.
But when they say USA, they mean the corporate elite that uses us as their muscle.
Exactly. I mean, because USA to them is the small group of technocrats who, of course, you know, disguises itself as a democratically elected government, but says we are the ones who actually know what the questions are and what the answers should be.
Well, that's what Carroll Quigley said. He said, we control both parties. We give the illusion of change. And by controlling the leadership, we can continually move our agenda towards world government down the road.
And isn't it true? Isn't that what we're seeing all around us?
And then meanwhile, the media will admit world government's here, but say it's the solution to all our problems, but then demonize those of us that say there's a world government. They say we're crazy, it doesn't exist. I mean, if that isn't mind control, I don't know what is. Alex Abella is our guest, alexabella.com. We have links to him up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. He's an amazing researcher with key intel on the globalist internal operations. We'll be right back with your phone calls on the other side on the GCN Radio Network. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you'll love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans, made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Alex Abella, one of the leading experts on the RAND Corporation, Emmy-nominated news producer, best-selling author, is our guest. AlexAbella.com is the website. Alex, I want to go to calls, but I wanted to get into one other issue. And for listeners that are new listeners, they won't believe this when I say it. So, guys, search engine right now. Google acquires company that can predict the future. But I remember going back to declassified corporate and government documents from even 40 years ago, where they said we've got to have the uniform product code, and then they wanted biometrics in the 90s to track every purchase you make, RFID on all the products. Now search engines using NSA keyword technology to be able to search the third dimension, not just cyberspace, but to be able to search the real world, and Google Street View and all of that is just one facet of that. And they now say they can predict mass movements by 99%. In fact, there's the headline, Google invested in company that predicts the future. No one saw it coming. Yeah, right. And, of course, that's a Pentagon-admitted funded group, and the company they bought. Also, Google admits they're basically CIA In-Q-Tel funded just 11 years ago with total dominance now. And you go back to the Rand Corporation in the 60s, and your book talks about this, and you talk about this in the interview we did with you out in California last week when I sent a crew out there, that they said that was key to track and surveil everyone, not so much to know what people are doing because they might be terrorists, that's just the cover, but to understand our hopes and dreams so they can learn what propaganda is working and to literally predict the future.
To a very large degree, that's correct, yes. Yeah, of course, you have to remember, of course, I mean, another one of Rand's beautiful inventions was the spy satellite. You know, we can also thank them for that. So, you know, today Google uses that spy satellite to be able to really, you know, observe everything that we do, down to, like, not down to the street level, you know, from above, from below. They're tracking our movements everywhere. I mean, it's awful. It's really awful, and we really have to do something about it.
And you also talk about how they try to discover every individual's sellout price.
Right. Well, they figure that since everyone is a consumer, everyone then has his own price. That there is a level at which, you know, they will go on and do things that they might not otherwise conceive of. Again, it goes back to the same rationale that, you know, people are just consumers, that people are just creatures that buy and enjoy, instead of being, you know, thinking people that, you know, perhaps believe in God, that, you know, believe in family, and that believe in their own country.
And then they can find everyone's price and basically get people to literally sell their intellect, their souls, their identity to these people. Let's take a phone call. Matt in Minnesota, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex and Alex, how's it going?
Good. Go ahead.
Hey, hi.
Hi, yeah. InfoWars actually ran an article a couple of years ago in October, and it was about Rand Corporation lobbying the Pentagon to start a war in order to save the collapsing economy.
Well, that has always been a tenet of the Rand Corporation. I mean, they have always said that. Not necessarily in so many words, but they have always said, you know, there's nothing like a good war to stimulate the economy. I mean, and they point to the Second World War. They point, you know, to Vietnam, and, you know, not to mention, you know, like I said, we were talking about before, you know, the Iraq War. I mean, you know, all the money.
Well, war is the health of the state.
Yes. It's a state of perpetual war.
Just like,
yeah, I agree. We are definitely in perpetual war right now, and I mean, I'm wondering if there's anything new like that out of Rand Corporation recently, where they're, you know, asking for a war, asking for this and that.
Well, they wouldn't put it in so many words at this point. They're not that obvious. But what they do say is that they advocate intervention in certain places, etc. For instance, in Afghanistan, I mean, they have links right now with think tanks in Afghanistan. They've been there since the very beginning. After we went in and deposed the Taliban in 9/11, they have constant communications with them. They have a base in Qatar, in the Arab Emirates. They're already trying to change again the culture of the place. I mentioned that in the book, and that, you know, they're going after the educational system. They were invited by the Emir of Qatar, and they're trying to change the whole way in which the Middle East thinks about the world. In other words, which is not that they think that the way that they think of the Middle East right now is so wonderful, but they're trying to change it into the consumer mold. So instead of making the things that are autochthonous to the region, that are good in the region, come out, they're trying to shape them into little Western consumers. Instead
of valuing true freedom, which creates incredible wealth, they give them fake free market consumerism, which then financially destroys us in the end. They tell us get into debt. All of this designed by these people. Matt, great point. Appreciate your call. William in Florida, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You know, please keep me on hold after the question because I can only listen on the phone. But my question is, when Alex was reading all of these documents, did he get any sense of hubris from these people? Obviously, they're very smart people at the Rand Corporation.
Hubris is their middle name, sir. That's exactly. I mean, obviously, what do you expect from people who think that they know all the answers?
No,
I mean, anybody who tends to doubt them is cast out, among the unbelievers. They know everything. So the hubris is